Welcome to Peak Analytics.
All right, let's dive deeper into the incredible life of Melissa Hortman, the Minnesota politician whose legacy as a fierce advocate and loving family woman was tragically cut short in 2025. I'm here to unpack every angle of her story: her husband, the devastating shooting, her children, age, religion, net worth, lifestyle, and a full biography. Like we're kicking back over coffee and donuts, piecing together her journey with all the heart and grit she embodied. So, settle in, and let's honor Melissa's memory with a story that captures her essence. Yo! If this deep dive's hitting you, smash that like, share it with your crew, and hit subscribe for more real stories. Melissa Ann Hortman, born Melissa Halupzik on May 27, 1970, in Fridley, Minnesota, was 55 years old when her life ended on June 14, 2025. A trailblazing Democrat, she represented District 34B in Minnesota's House of Representatives from 2005 until her assassination, serving as Speaker from 2019 to 2025. Raised in Anoka County's middle-class suburbs, Melissa caught the political bug early, glued to the 1980 presidential election at age 10, dreaming of making a difference. Her sharp mind led her to Blaine High School, where she graduated in 1988, followed by a double major in political science and philosophy at Boston University in 1991. She earned a Juris Doctor from the University of Minnesota Law School in 1995 and, later, a Master's in Public Administration from Harvard's Kennedy School in 2018, juggling motherhood and ambition with fierce determination. Before politics, she interned for Al Gore and John Kerry, clerked for Judge John Somerville in Minnesota's 10th Judicial District, and practiced law, focusing on civil litigation and family law. Her early role on Brooklyn Park's Human Relations Commission sparked her passion for community equity, shaping her as a relentless advocate for justice. Melissa's husband, Mark Hortman, was her partner in every sense for 31 years, married since 1994. At 58, Mark was a program manager at nVent Electric, specializing in sustainable electronics, a job that reflected his quiet commitment to a better world. A soft-spoken family man, he lit up the Brooklyn Park home with quirky humor, posting on Facebook about the dog's doorbell-ringing antics or the kids' milestones. Melissa and Mark lived near Edinburgh Golf Course, a cozy spot where they raised their two adult children, Colin and Sophie, both in their early 20s and college students in 2025. The couple's bond was rock solid, seen in their playful traditions, like Mark mowing the lawn while Melissa awaited election results, laughing over shared nerves, or their date nights at local spots like Lemongrass Tie. Just hours before their deaths, they attended the DFL's Humphrey Mondale dinner on June 13, 2025, arm in arm, radiating warmth. Melissa's social media posts often gushed about Mark's support, calling him her anchor through the chaos of political life, while his LinkedIn reflected a steady career that let her shine. The tragedy that ended their lives shook Minnesota to its core. On June 14, 2025, Melissa and Mark were assassinated in their Brooklyn Park home by a gunman posing as a police officer, in an attack Governor Tim Walz labeled politically motivated. The suspect, 57-year-old Vance Luther Bolter, also targeted State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette in Champlin, wounding them before fleeing. Bolter, a former appointee to Minnesota's Workforce Development Board, ran an evangelical ministry and a security firm, leaving behind a manifesto railing against pro-choice and Democratic leaders, with Melissa's name circled for her abortion rights stance. Melissa died instantly from multiple gunshot wounds, while Mark succumbed hours later at North Memorial Health Hospital. The attack, tied to escalating political tensions, triggered a shelter-in-place order in Anoka County and halted No Kings protests statewide. The FBI launched a manhunt, offering a $50,000 reward for Bolter, last seen wearing a cowboy hat and driving a black SUV. Melissa's death left a void in the Minnesota House, tipping it to Republican control after a tied 2024 election, a stark reminder of her influence. The couple's funeral at St. Timothy Catholic Church drew thousands, with Colin and Sophie delivering a tearful eulogy, vowing to carry their parents' values forward. Melissa's faith as a devout Catholic was the heartbeat of her life. She taught Sunday school at St. Timothy Catholic Church in Blaine, guiding kids with the same patience she brought to politics. Her beliefs fueled her compassion, driving her to champion universal school meals, abortion access, and clean energy policies. She called Minnesota's 2023 paid family leave law her proudest moment, a lifeline for working families like hers once was. As Speaker, she led a progressive wave, legalizing marijuana, expanding transgender protections, and strengthening voting rights, all while navigating a polarized state. In 2025, her bold House boycott secured a power-sharing deal after a deadlocked election, a masterclass in strategy. Her Catholic roots also grounded her in community. Whether volunteering at food drives or baking cookies for school fundraisers, she lived her faith through action, always with a warm laugh. Her net worth isn't explicitly documented, but Melissa's life as a public servant and lawyer suggests a modest financial picture. As Minnesota House Speaker, she earned roughly $100,000 a year, per state salary records, supplemented by her earlier legal career, where she handled cases in family and civil law. Mark's role at nVent Electric, a global firm, likely brought a solid $80,000 to $120,000 annually, enough for the comfortable middle-class life. Their Brooklyn Park home, in a quiet neighborhood, was valued modestly for the area, reflecting their focus on family over flash. Melissa drove a practical Toyota Camry, while Mark had a Ford F-150 for hauling kids' sports gear or campaign signs. They invested in their kids' education, Colin studying engineering, Sophie in social work, and saved for retirement, but their wealth was in their community ties, not bank accounts. Melissa's campaign filings showed no lavish spending, just grassroots fundraising fueled by small donors who believed in her vision. Melissa's lifestyle was a blend of hard work and heartfelt connection. She was a tireless campaigner, knocking on doors in Brooklyn Park with her trademark humor, once playfully blocking an opponent's camera during a debate prep. Her days started with 6 a.m. coffee, poring over policy briefs, and ended with family dinners where politics took a backseat to stories about Colin's robotics club or Sophie's volunteer work. She loved mentoring young Democrats, recruiting candidates with her infectious energy, and dreamed of teaching high school history if politics hadn't called. Her gregarious side sparkled at community events, whether flipping pancakes at a fire station breakfast or dancing at DFL fundraisers. She pushed big projects like the North Star commuter rail to ease suburban commutes and backed a new Twins stadium to boost local pride, always balancing state and neighborhood needs. Even her Republican rivals, like former Governor Tim Pawlenty, admired her as a bridge builder who could disagree without venom, a rarity in today's politics. Her biography reads like a masterclass in resilience and purpose. Melissa's political spark ignited early, volunteering for Walter Mondale's 1984 campaign as a teen. After losing state house races in 1998 and 2002, she won in 2004, launching a 20-year career across 11 terms. She rose from assistant majority leader to minority whip, then speaker, becoming the third woman to hold the gavel. Her 2017 card game, Flap, caught playing solitaire during a late-night session, drew flack, but she owned it with a cheeky, "Sorry not sorry," winning over critics with her candor. In 2020, she co-led police reform, banning chokeholds after George Floyd's murder, a move that earned bipartisan nods despite pushback. Her 2023 session was historic, passing a $72 billion budget with free school meals, a child tax credit, and solar energy mandates, cementing Minnesota as a progressive beacon. She faced death threats over her pro-choice stance, yet never wavered, even hiring extra security for her family. Her final act, securing a 2025 power-sharing deal, showed her knack for turning gridlock into progress. Melissa wasn't without controversy. Her 2017 solitaire incident fueled GOP attack ads, painting her as distracted, though voters re-elected her handily. Her push for abortion codification in 2023 drew protests from evangelical groups, with some mailing her hateful letters, yet she stood firm, citing her Catholic belief in personal freedom. In 2024, her boycott of House sessions to force a deal frustrated moderates, who feared it alienated rural voters, but her gamble paid off with a compromise. Her outspoken critiques of political violence, especially after January 6, made her a target for far-right rhetoric, a grim foreshadowing of her fate. Still, she navigated these storms with grace, often diffusing tension with a quick quip or a listening ear. Melissa Hortman's legacy is etched in Minnesota's laws and the lives she touched. Her universal school meals program feeds 500,000 kids daily. Her clean energy laws cut carbon emissions by 10% since 2023, and her mentorship launched dozens of young leaders. Colin and Sophie, now carrying her torch, plan to advocate for gun reform in her honor. Her assassination sparked a reckoning, with leaders like Gabby Giffords calling it a blow to democracy, while thousands rallied at the Capitol chanting, "Hortman's hope." Her sister, Lisa Halupzik, shared a heartbreaking memory of Melissa's last call, planning a family barbecue for their dad's birthday, a reminder of her warmth. Melissa was a giant, smart, funny, and fiercely devoted to fairness. Her story challenges us to bridge divides and fight for what's right, no matter the cost. What's your favorite Melissa moment? Her policy wins, her humor, or her heart? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears. Want another bio, name, and I'm on it. Thanks for sticking with me. Catch you next time.